Voltron's like, oh, we're live. All right.
We
What's up,
are?
everyone? Hello, everyone in the world of YouTube. We are live. This is Basement Radio Arcade. Mike, this is for you, the Basement Radio Arcade podcast.
Wait, can I just say something right now? I find it amazing how Enrique is shocked that we're live, and he's the one kicking off the podcast. He's talking. Oh, we're live. Yes, of course we're live. You started the podcast.
Worry, do you remember?
Yes. You never cease to amaze me every week. Hey, Mike, the last time.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember when he asked us, are we done? Are we off? I don't know. Did you stop it?
Are we live? Are we live right now, guys? I don't know. Are we live? Oh, yes, we are.
Wait,
yeah. So, the Basement Radio. That's for you, Mike. The WNBC. WNBC. I love that movie.
It's such a great movie.
It was. Yeah, so everyone, welcome to Basement Radio Arcade. We are going to be talking about a lot of stuff that's happened this week in the world of gaming. A lot of stuff to talk about. Fable Legends is dead. Lionhead Studios is dead. Everything is dead. Well, not everything.
Everyone.
Everything is dead.
Sounds morbid,
That's like
doesn't
the
it?
South Park song, Everyone Has AIDS. Everything is dead.
Yes, everything is dead.
Everything's over. It's doom and gloom. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Ghostbusters reference, not the new one. The old one.
No, not the new one.
And by the way, guys, I was going to talk about that.
Did you see that trailer?
Yeah, so actually, let's talk about that right now. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I thought it was
not
painful.
funny.
I showed it. Yeah, my wife. She couldn't even get through the whole thing.
Oh
yes, it was.
She said, "Please turn this off." I said, "Why?" She said, "It's not. It wasn't even funny."
It's painful. It really is.
The fan recut one was amazing, though.
What was it again?
There was a recut that a fan did. They took about a minute out and just kind of did like quick cuts with the Ghostbusters theme. It was awesome.
You know what, though? The original trailer for the original movie was pretty bad, too, so you can't really judge it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I don't know. You know what, Rory?
I can't.
You know what's weird? Like, all the ghosts look like...
they look kind of like Rainbow Sprite meets Strawberry Shortcake. Like, it was just bright blue, fluorescent. It was weird.
It was like Care Bears.
Strange. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, it was like Care Bears. It was waiting for rainbows to shoot out of their stomachs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything was neon. It just, the old Ghostbusters had like a little bit. I mean, some of the ghosts in the old Ghostbusters were kind of like
comical.
Neon, comical, yeah. But there were some serious ones. I mean, remember who was the guy in the painting? I don't remember his name.
Vigo.
Yes.
Oh, that was the second Ghostbusters.
That was the second one.
Second one. Okay, and then who was the one that like possessed Sigourney Weaver?
That was
the first one. That was Zool.
Zool.
Was it Zool? Yeah. Remember his like little dogs?
Yes.
So I mean, they weren't cartoony or comical. I mean, they were pretty serious, I thought. So
well, and where's the love interest? Where's the who's going to play that Dana? Not obviously it's not a female. Who's going to play the Dana Barrett type character?
Well,
there was none of that.
Yeah, there might be I don't know, maybe like a love interest that we don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. There might be another. Yeah, there might be something like that we don't know about. I'm not excited.
I'm not going to know.
Doesn't Bill Murray have is supposed to be in this one now? He signed on.
He's supposed to have a cameo. Him and Dan Aykroyd supposedly have signed off that they're okay with all this. And
of course they did. Why not? They're probably getting money.
Yeah. They're getting paid. Oh, we lost Eric, by the way. He's a
big Ghostbusters fan. He said, "I'm out."
Yeah. He's like, "I'm not going to listen anymore to this shit, guys. I'm leaving."
Right. Can't take it.
He's on a Mac computer worry, and his browser froze.
That's got to be what it is. That closed system.
Yeah.
The FBI is having a heart attack, right?
Oh my God!
Can't you be more like Google and Microsoft? Give us the key.
Of course, Microsoft's the only one that's like, yeah, you should help the FBI out.
No, they actually are against it too.
Are they against it?
Yeah, there's a lot of tech companies that are.
I thought they publicly said they were for it.
Well, no, it was a misprint. It was a misquote from Bill Gates that they kind of took and ran with.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right. So I was wrong. So, and I think you said where they're going to make the new iPhone, even like more.
How do we go from Ghostbusters to iPhones?
I don't know, man. Because we're talking about Apple.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk games.
Yeah, so let's talk games. All right.
Let's stop talking about this shitty movie coming up.
Mike, you're going to be there day one in line, huh?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat room. Bella Rise is here from EXL Gaming. What's up, Bella? And we have
Sean's here.
Oh yeah, Sean's here. He's live from Starbucks. So that's cool. And Brian or Lemieux66, who you guys know, has been a guest on the show. He is in the live chat as well. So let's get to talking about games, guys. Fable Legends is dead. I can't even begin to tell you how shocked I was to wake up in the morning and start and see Twitter. And
that's always great, right? Waking up and going to Twitter.
I know. It's like cup of coffee and Twitter, right? I was shocked, and then to hear that Lionhead Studios was going to be closed, I couldn't believe it. And I don't know, guys. I didn't get a chance to play the beta. I know, Mike, you were in the beta for Fable Legends. Well, you're still in the beta because the beta is going to go through April 15th, I think.
Yeah.
Till Wednesday. Till Wednesday. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. The following Wednesday, the 16th.
Oh, I thought it was through April. No, it's through March?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you have another week of it then.
Yep.
All right. So you can't talk about it though, right?
I still cannot. We have not been told that it's no longer under NDA.
That's odd. What would happen though? I mean, the game's canceled, the studio's closed.
They might take that into consideration with future betas.
Yeah,
I'd rather
really?
not get. I'd rather not have a strike against me and
the beta was through them or Microsoft.
It's a Microsoft first party game. I would imagine that it never really said.
Yeah.
I'm actually on their website on the forum now, trying to. There's a couple of us who are trying to figure that out.
Because the game is beautiful. I would love for people to see it.
So would I. I mean, there's so much. I have honestly been dying to talk about this game because it's just so. I think and people that. I know.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
I will be. It's funny that I see people that had no interest in the game, that hated the game, that all of a sudden they're now upset because the game's canceled and Lionhead is being closed. But there's a reality here. And the reality is that as much as I liked it and as much as I wanted it to go, the game's been in development since 2013. Mm-hmm. It's free to play, which means that any development that they've put into the game is sunk cost. They probably at some point felt like for all the work that was going into it, it wasn't going to make them back anything, and they had to make a call. And Lionhead themselves, I mean, they're not the same studio. It's kind of like Rare. A lot of the Lionhead people that were there for Black and White and Fable 3.
Peter Molyneux's gone.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys are not there, so they're working off of a different crew, and it just, there was nothing else being worked on. They claimed that there was another title being worked on, but nobody saw anything about it, and so
that was Eden Falls, right? Was that it?
I'm not sure. I thought Eden Falls was that Lift London mobile game. I could be wrong.
I think there was some kind of sci-fi game they were doing, like an RPG. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know it was a sci-fi oriented type of game that they had originally announced, and then they went to Fable Legends.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Mike, look it up. Mike's looking it up.
Yeah, Mike's looking it up right now. I'm looking. Yeah, but Mike, so I understand though, the game was like.
To the left. I know he's looking something up.
Exactly. From what I understand, the game was. It seemed like it was pretty much done.
It's beautiful.
It was very close. I mean, they had made some huge strides in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
The whole game was centered around the hub town, and for the longest time, you couldn't get to half of that town. It was all blocked off and things like that. Well, they opened up the entire town. They opened up all the merchants, and then you could go out and you could actually do quests.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and even the intros and the stories and all that stuff were really falling into place. It wasn't just throwing you out there. It was really coming together. And then this last build that they put out, which was a week ago, was the DirectX build. So that's the weird part. Is it went?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
It went to DirectX 12 last week, which really bumped it up.
Yeah, and this was their big cross-play Windows 10, Xbox, PC title too.
Yeah.
Which is really odd that they just decided to say, well, it's just not coming along.
And that game was also advertised as part of the greatest games lineup.
Yes.
And this is the part that confuses me. It's like crossplay. They've touted crossplay, and I thought Fable Legends was like supposed to be the first game that they show. It was the first game they showed a crossplay, right?
I don't know if it was the first, but I remember them touting it as being the big, indicator for crossplay.
So here they are talking about crossplay and DX12, and they're touting Fable Legends. It was part of the best games lineup in history. And Mike, like you said last week, it went DX12, and then they just pulled the plug. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I'm just
no, I think I do. I think that they sunk enough money into the game. The game remember, there's still no definitive release date for the game. They were talking about an open beta in the spring, and it's a free-to-play game. I think if it was a $40 to $50 game, they'd keep working on it. You run out of funds at some point, and maybe they weren't where Phil or whoever's running the European studios now. Maybe it's not where they wanted it to be, and it's over budget. Who knows? A lot of development went into this game. A lot.
Yeah, and also, that free-to-play world is a hard nut to crack, It's
especially when they said flat out, you don't need to buy anything to play through. They said that early on, is you'd be able to play and unlock everything without spending a dime. You can't do free-to-play that way unless you're World of Tanks, and even that, look how much money that game makes.
Right.
Because the grind is so difficult, people just say to hell with it and just buy what they want.
Yeah.
Now, it was interesting because wasn't Phil just asked like last week at the event about Fable?
He was.
Yeah,
he was.
And he seemed to kind of, think that it was still on, everything was still good. So I don't know if that was just him kind of seeing how things played out, or if he literally just didn't, know what was going on.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be the first time that's happened,
I would hope that it's not that he just doesn't know what's going on. I think maybe he just wasn't the right time to just say, "Hey, by the way, this event, that's done."
Yeah,
I don't know.
But he
may also have put that decision in the hands of whatever that guy's name is who wrote the article.
Right.
He may have said, "Look, I'll defer to you. You do what you feel is right with the game in the studio." Maybe he said, I'll back whatever you say."
Yeah.
As a manager, I've done that before with my sub managers and stuff like that, where I've said, "Look, you decide what you want to do with this, and I'll back you either way." If he thought that the game was still viable, maybe last week he thought it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he talked about in some of the interviews last week that he thought that there was a lot of things they could do with Fable, and that he thought the world of Albion, could show up in many different spaces. Now, whatever, I don't know what that means. Maybe he's talking about another game or maybe future iterations of Fable. And actually, Bella in the chat room doesn't think Fable's dead. She thinks they're going to eventually go back to that franchise, maybe with another developer. And I've heard other people throw out like crazy rumors that maybe they think Rare's going to pick it up. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see Rare picking this game up. But let me ask you something, Mike. Did this Fable game feel like a Fable game to you, or do you feel like it could have been like another game, like a new IP, another IP?
It had traces of a mainline Fable in some aspects, but mostly, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was meant to be. I think people keep saying, "Oh, this isn't mainline Fable. This isn't mainline Fable." Well, no, because it's not Fable 4. It never was supposed to be. I've always said that this game to me felt like Phantasy Star Online more than it felt like anything else. It just used Fable's world and assets and things like that to do it.
Yeah. Were you in the beta? Because you said the game looked great, so I'm assuming you were in the beta. Yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. I really did. I thought it was close to being one of the best looking games on the Xbox.
Wow.
I kind of agree. It was the DNA of a Fable game, but it wasn't Fable.
It wasn't Fable, yeah.
No, it wasn't like a linear story-driven RPG with. It still had that crazy humor, and there's crazy character design and stuff like that Lionhead's known for. Yeah, but it wasn't It didn't feel like a mainline Fable game.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? It almost seems like the last 2 weeks, Microsoft has had a lot of interesting press.
Yeah, I need to clarify something real quick. Because I'm sitting on the actual forums for the thing. I am incorrect. You are correct, Enrique. It is Wednesday, April 13th. I thought it was this coming Wednesday, but it's not. It is going on until April, so we do have some time yet to play.
Yeah, it sucks because I never got into the beta. Never. I waited and did get in.
Unfortunately, we will not be admitting any new players to the Fable Legends.
Yeah, wouldn't it be a cool thing if they just opened it up to everybody until?
Yeah. I think they should.
I was about to say that. They should.
Why not?
I really want to stream this suckers because I want people to see what they're destroying.
Screw the NDA, Mike. Stand up for the gamers.
Yeah.
That'll go over like a lead balloon. That's like going into Willy Wonka's office after touching the top of the fan in the fizzy lifting drink room.
See now, Mike, you went way back to where two people understand what you're talking about.
I have no right. I have no idea what he just said.
Fizzy lifting drink. Come on.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know anything about fizzy lifting drinks.
Nobody else saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but you and I.
I saw the Johnny Depp version.
Enrique, you don't know what an everlasting.
No, you did not see the real version.
You don't know what an everlasting gobstopper is.
Is that a sexual reference?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know these things. You ask me questions I have no knowledge of.
Okay.
I knew what it was, Mike.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Exactly. Moving on. So I don't know. I mean, do you guys think it's going to come back then? Is this something Microsoft's going to bring back then?
If I had to bet, I would say no. I think they're done with Fable.
But why sink so much money into a game? And again, it almost and I didn't play the beta. From what I've heard from people that have played the beta, it almost seems like the game was pretty much complete.
I couldn't answer you. I couldn't give you a definitive answer as to what happened, why it happened.
Yeah.
The only thing I can tell you that I'm 100% sure of is I have no idea what happened.
Yeah. We can all speculate, but yeah, we don't know 100% sure for what happened. But I mean, clearly this was a business decision. Mike, you mentioned they've sunk a lot of money into this game. And they probably didn't hit certain deadlines, I'm guessing. And, someone pulled the plug on this and said, you know what, guys, we're moving on. It's sad, though, to see Lionhead, which has been around since, the mid-'90s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know the inception date.
I want to say 90s.
Black and White was
in early 2000 now? Black and White was 2001.
I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, Black and White was 2001. Black and White Creature Isle came out 2002, and those two games were released on Microsoft Windows and Mac as well.
They were founded in 1996.
They didn't do MDK, the MDK games, did they? No, that was
BioWare.
BioWare, yeah.
Yeah, it's BioWare.
That game was. Remember that MDK, the first one? My God,
I still have it for the Dreamcast. Oh, it was awesome.
So good. I'm sorry to get sidetracked. Go ahead.
No worries.
No, but if you think, I don't know if they will do another Fable, just for the fact. I mean, since Fable 3, all they did was Fable Legends, so they kind of kept doing like these outside of the core Fable that we kind of know. Like,
I hope though that there's something on the other side of this, where they're getting rid of this first party studio. And then they have a plan for something else that we haven't heard about yet. You know what I mean? That's where I'm kind of like waiting to see. I don't know, but you would think that there's something on the other side of all this that's a positive.
You would hope, and I was talking to Eric before we came on live. That's kind of my concern a little bit. Like, and I understand this is very much a part of the business. I mean, studios close, these things happen. But like I was telling Eric earlier, the message from the beginning has been we're going to focus on developing or building our first parties, right? Our first party studios out. This is one reason why they weren't going to do a lot of those third party marketing deals that they used to do in the past.
Right.
and Lionhead is a big deal. It's a big studio, and they closed. They closed Press Play. I believe there's some other studios, some smaller studios they closed that hadn't really, I don't think, released anything in some time. Um, and so I kind of feel like, well, okay, so the message in the beginning was we're investing in first party studios, but now we're closing first party studios. And now I'm kind of scratching my head thinking, so what's going on? Like, what's happening? And then, with all the news that we got last week about, the Xbox, the evolution of the Xbox, maybe a modular console, and now this ecosystem. I don't know, guys. I don't know about you guys. I'm just kind of like, it's a lot for me to take in. It's a lot for me to figure out what's really happening, what's going on. And I feel like they still really haven't given us a definitive message about the direction or what's happening. And who knows? Maybe we find out more at E3, what that vision is and how they're going to execute it. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you feel like you guys feel like I do, or do you feel like it's really not a big deal? This happens. What are your thoughts, Eric? Go ahead, man.
No, I think in some ways, no, it doesn't like just happen, because if you look at how things have kind of shifted, they definitely have some kind of game plan that they're working on. What that is, I mean, we don't know, because the messaging has been pretty fragmented. But me personally, I'm very much playing like the wait and see. I can't kind of jump on this thing like it's all doom and gloom and it's over. But you look at from Gamescom, like last year, how they were kind of just pushing forward with Xbox, and then all of a sudden, like right after that, going through the holiday, there was like this shift, and all of a sudden, a lot of the talk has been, well, we're not going to incorporate like Windows 10. I know they've talked in the past about that, but now they seem to really be, they shifted. They stopped talking about numbers. We're not reporting numbers anymore. We're pushing forward with, putting, an investment into Windows 10. So again, I don't know what all that is going to mean, or ultimately what that means for Xbox as a box, but I can kind of see them shifting into Xbox as a brand.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. And they talk about an ecosystem and the Xbox as an application. So I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
So I think the other thing that gets lost in all this is what gets closed and what were they doing. I get it. They closed a bunch of studios. Lionhead, obviously a big studio for them, obviously. But if you look at what they produced since they were bought, it wasn't high quality stuff. It was, Fable 3, and then the Kinect Fable, and then the Anniversary, and then Fable Legends, which they were working on for 2 years. Some of the other studios that they closed, for example, Big Park. Big Park's one of them. Big Park had 3 games. They did Kinect Joyride, which came out with the original Kinect. They worked on Kinect Sports Season 2 with Rare. And then they put out an updated Joyride Turbo. That's it. Since 2012, they had nothing in the pipeline. So perhaps they got closed because they had nothing going on. Good Science Studios, the same way. I don't even know, like they did Kinect Adventures. They worked on that. They worked on Kinect Fun Labs and Kinect Star Wars. They didn't have anything going on since 2012. Shannon Loftus moved from being in that studio to doing more larger things within Microsoft Game Studios itself, and so they probably looked at it and said, well, we have nothing coming from that studio. We have nothing coming from Lift London. We have nothing coming from LXP. We have nothing coming from Big Park. Why are they still open if we can't get any games out of them? So I think that some of this is simple consolidation. Could this be the opening for them to purchase a studio like Remedy or something like that? We always seem to talk about that. That question always comes up. Perhaps. Or perhaps they're just, to have a number of studios for the sake of having a number of studios doesn't make business sense. It's like keeping a restaurant open that makes no money for the sake of just having it open.
Nostalgia.
You're right. and I don't know what anybody's nostalgic for with Good Science Studio, because there's, again, Kinect games came out of it, which last I checked, everybody in a known universe hates Kinect, right? So what's the, how are we sad by this? Lionhead, like I said, they have a history. I could kind of understand that, but when they were acquired by Microsoft, after that, they were one or two Fable games. Peter Molyneux left after getting embarrassed over his Milo bullshit, and then
I love Milo.
You didn't love that? You didn't like that?
I mean,
I love it. I love Milo.
But when we step back and we look at what's going on with these studios, and if you can get yourself past the nostalgia, which is hard to do, and as somebody who is an older gamer like me, I live off some nostalgia, but there's also a business reality. Mm-hmm. And I don't think this has anything to do with. I mean, I have seen people posting that, this is another, Microsoft is selling off Xbox. No, they've got a whole slate of games coming out. So no other game besides Fable Legends, which didn't have a release date. No other game in the arsenal that's coming out in 2016 has been canceled.
Right.
So I think we have to step back and understand that because they canceled a free-to-play game doesn't mean that the Xbox brand or the Xbox box or whatever is disintegrating. Like, I'm going to walk over and try to turn my Xbox One on, and it's going to say, "I'm sorry, Mike, I'm afraid I can't do that." It's not going to happen.
Why are you doing that, Dave?
Daisy. Nobody gets that either, right?
No.
I know.
You know what's so funny about that too is like the people are like, well, I'm not really a Fable person, but this sucks.
Right.
Never played a Fable game. This is terrible.
Fable, but yeah.
I think I don't know what any of it means, but when Enrique, what you said about when they talked about they want to build out first party.
Yes. I
think that's interesting because what first party games do they have still now? They have Halo, Gears, Forza, right?
Yeah.
Crackdown that's not a first party?
I think that is a first party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They own the studio that makes Crackdown.
No.
Mike, you want to look that up?
Hang on, I don't think they do. I think.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it might be second party.
It does seem like a lot of their shift and their push now is from second party.
Yes,
and that's an interesting point, Rory, because I was thinking about that. Maybe now maybe there's a shift now. The philosophy there, it's like, okay, well, maybe it's more cost effective for us to just have, invest in second party games.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah. The only reason I would be I don't want to say shocked, but by that sentiment is because I remember Phil Spencer saying that he was really trying to become like what Nintendo had done with their first party. He wanted to build out the first party.
Okay,
which is kind of odd if you're just going to have 3 first party games going forward.
And that's what I don't know. This is why the Fable thing is shocking to me, because Fable's one of those cornerstone franchises, I thought, of Microsoft Studios, and so that's why this is shocking to me. It was up there as as touted as part of being part of the greatest lineup of games for the Xbox in history, the history of the Xbox.
But you know what? At the end of the day, how many people really we know, but how many people really know how many first-party studios a company has? They just know what games you can play on the box versus another box.
Yeah.
But that was just a good point that you brought up about first party. It's kind of odd to see them let go of a first-party. First-party studio that makes an exclusive RPG that used to make an exclusive RPG that was doing something different. Now they, like Mike said, they might have something in store, like a purchase of another studio that solidifies them as a strong first-party developer for their platforms coming at E3. I don't know.
Well, also, let's keep in mind, and by the way, CloudGen is not owned by Microsoft. David Jones owns that outright. Let's keep in mind that nobody cares who develops Quantum Break, for example. Quantum Break's got Microsoft's name all over it, whether Remedy develops it or not. Microsoft doesn't own Remedy, but everyone knows it's a Microsoft game. Most people consider that a second-party game. Most, we're sitting here talking about this as informed, internet savvy gamers, but the reality is that when Johnny Gamer walks into Best Buy to go pick up Quantum Break, he's not going to say, Remedy isn't owned by Microsoft, so this is not
I really wanted to buy an Xbox, but before I buy it, can you list off the number of first-party studios they have?
Exactly.
What do you mean they only have 4 first-party studios? What the hell's going on?
There's a blurred line, I think, that's happening here between...
Sorry.
People that are way too close to the issues and people that just aren't. Right.
Well, there's that. I was more going along the lines of there's a blurring line between first-party studio and first-party IP. Microsoft has a lot of first-party IP, even if they're getting outside development to do it. Killer Instinct, which by the way now steps up as the cross-play game, and it's coming out next month. We hope. Or this month actually. It's coming out this month. So that steps up as your premier cross-play game. But Microsoft owns a ton of good IP that they can farm out to different developers. Sunset Overdrive was the exception, as Insomniac owns that. Microsoft owns Ori and the Blind Forest. It owns Quantum Break. It owns, if it wanted to farm out, it farmed out Killer Instinct to 2 different independent developers. I forgot the first one. Then it got bought by Amazon, and then Iron Galaxy, who does it now.
Twisted Pixel was Amazon.
Twisted Pixel?
Yeah, but Twisted Pixel... No, I thought Twisted Pixel was the one that Microsoft bought and then let go of because they wanted to go back to being... They did Loco Cycle.
They did Loco Cycle, yeah. Which was a great game, by the way.
They kind of brought back their independence.
Yeah.
Brought it back,
Right. So, hang on, I'll tell you. A Double Helix. Double Helix
did
the original. And, neither of them were owned by Microsoft, but, who thinks Killer Instinct is not a first-party game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that's what I think is the other piece that people forget is that Microsoft owns the games. I don't think they care who makes the game as long as it's a good game.
I'm going to call it right now. This sale of Lionhead means that at E3, Microsoft's going to announce they purchased BioWare, and BioWare is making the next Fable.
Oh my gosh, Mike! That would be a mic drop moment at E3.
That would, especially if EA gave them up that quick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
never happened. Just a joke.
No.
Microsoft buys Bethesda.
You think it's possible that they may be kind of cherry picking some of the talent from Lionhead and like restructuring it into a different studio?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they could do that.
They did say they had openings in other areas, and Rare posted job openings, so maybe some people go to Rare.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was that was a popular rumor going around Twitter that maybe Rare would pick up the Fable franchise.
I can't. It would be hard to see Rare do that. I mean, I don't just because it's looking at what they've produced. How would they be able to capture that?
Yeah, that wouldn't be. I don't think that would be a good idea.
No.
Kind of forcing one style of a developer on another, and people would be expecting certain things out of the Fable franchise.
Right. You can't you can't do Fable meets Conquer. It doesn't.
Well, you could have Conquer and Fable. Conquer's and everything else these days.
Right, except his own game.
He could have young Conquer and Fable in augmented reality.
There you go. Fable's coming to HoloLens. You heard it here first.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah. But but Phil was back on Twitter today again, guys, talking about first party, and he was saying having a conversation with somebody on Twitter. He says, "I'm proud of the games our first party studios have shipped on Xbox One. Our plan is to continue to build new IP and expand our franchises." So, I mean, again,
like he said, he wants to expand their first party franchises, right?
Yeah.
But they just got rid of Lionhead.
Yeah.
So there has to be something on the other side of this.
Right.
That's positive.
One would hope.
I mean, I'm not saying there has to be, right? I mean, obviously, I don't know, but I would think personally that there would have to be something positive on the other side.
That would make sense. That they have another plan in place, or maybe they're heading a different direction, And maybe with some of these first-party franchises, they're going to start farming this out, like Mike said, maybe to other developers, second-party developers to do some of these games. So,
Right.
you know,
And they may have just simply decided that Lionhead wasn't producing what Lionhead used to produce. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've watched development studios and publishers close up shop before. It's not an uncommon thing. I mean, I'll still never forget the day that I got a phone call from a friend at Acclaim and said, "Hey, I got to the office today and the door was locked and a sign was on the door." I mean, those were things that
Jeez.
happened. I mean, those were things that actually happened, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that Microsoft's been, they've been building up to closing Lionhead. They may have just come to a point, like a fork in the road, where they got to maybe a point last week where they said, "Look, we need to make a call on this. We need to make a call on it now," and
Mm-hmm.
they made the call. That call may not have been there a week and a half ago. Maybe it's something they just in the last, it happens. You make decisions at a single point in time. It doesn't always happen like a year down the road, a year from now, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Actually, Mike, Sean, in the chats, you guys were tight with the Acclaim guys.
We were very tight with the
Yeah.
Acclaim, that's why their main PR guy, I mean, he called me out of he just called me at home. He's like, I wanted to tell you that we're done, and like the guy was like, he was shook. Yeah,
Wow.
Sean will tell you. We were very, very tight with that company. We used to go up once every 3 or 4 months to Acclaim just to go visit. They had us in their motion capture thing. Their whole big studio they had. They let us look at development kits and got us interviews with wrestlers when they did their Legends of Wrestling uh,
Didn't you interview
promo.
Jake the Snake Roberts?
Yeah, when he was high as a kite, and it was the worst.
I remember.
It was the worst experience I ever had. I was so devastated.
So,
I
were you in a hotel room with him, like in a hotel,
No,
or
so it was
that didn't sound right?
he was yeah he was in Europe doing a tour,
Mm.
and I was here at home, and they said, "Hey, here's a number to call him on," and I had to pay for the call. That's what made it even worse. We never actually discussed the video game, and I couldn't. I called my friend back at Acclaim, and I said, not only can I not use anything that we talked about in an
Wow.
actual interview for Legends of Wrestling, I don't think I understood half of what he was telling me.
Holy
And
shit.
so, it was one of those things. That's why I'm glad, on a side note, I'm really glad to see him turn his life around with, Diamond Dallas Page
Yeah.
and the stuff that they've done. Now he goes around and he's got a stand-up act that he does, and he talks a lot about, his road to redemption, and he sounds like a totally different guy. And so
Jesus.
those are the things that I always remember. And but yeah, I mean, I've seen these closings. I mean, THQ had the WWE licensing. They had SpongeBob SquarePants. They had all of these top hot. They had the UFC license before EA. Out of
Mm.
the blue, they shut down. They had no notice about it. They just shut down, and that at one point in time was one of the major publishers. This stuff happens, and I think it's amplified. I hate to say it, and I hate to sound like those guys. I think it's amplified because it's Microsoft. I think if it was Ubisoft or EA shutting down, and believe me, EA shut down a number of studios after purchasing them. I don't think you'd hear as much about it. But I think because right now the in vogue thing is to pound Microsoft over the head with a large hammer every time it breathes incorrectly. I think that exasperates it a bit.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think part of it too, though, is this is probably magnified a little bit more because of what happened last week too, though.
perhaps,
You know, and people, and it's, you know, I think coming into this week, you had people, and we've seen it, guys. We've seen the people on Twitter who are, you know, diehard Xbox fans that are, you know, ready to jump ship, you know, jump off the cliff. And I think there's that unease, there's that level of uneasiness with what direction Microsoft's heading with the Xbox. And I think coming into this week, you know, I think this kind of magnifies what people already felt coming from last week. And I think maybe that's why we're hearing this a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, Warrior, you're a little quiet over there, man.
No, I'm good. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I don't. If you don't like something, then you could hope for it to change in a better way, or ask for it to change in a better way.
Or you could go game on another platform.
But I mean, if it doesn't do what you want it to do, whatever it is, then do something else. I just don't know what to tell people, you know?
And, yeah,
I mean, I understand.
And it's interesting you say that, Warren, because as of right now,
I understand people, you know, like their platform and they want their platform to do well and they want it to do the things that they want it to do to be successful. But then there's a company that isn't going to listen to 14 to 18-year-olds online. They're going to do what's best for them. And if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell people, you know? I mean, it's just...
Well, we also have to remember, we often talk about a very small segment of social media as if they are the representation of every gamer on the planet, and sometimes we get swept up in it, and we have to step back and realize, okay, so 50 people on my Twitter feed really have a problem with this. The overwhelming bulk of other people don't even know this is happening. They don't even know what's going on.
Ignorance is bliss, isn't it?
It is. And that's true.
Maybe because they don't care.
Right. No, it's true. I was talking to my buddy. I went to a birthday party this past weekend, and my buddy's there. And he's got an Xbox One, and he's just like, you know, he's going nuts over Doom. He's like, oh my god, I can't wait for Doom. And you know, I'm like, oh, did you hear about these things with the Xbox? And I'm talking about things that we talk about on Twitter, and he's looking at me. He's like, you know, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I'm trying to talk to you about Doom. You're hitting me with all this like information.
He's never inviting you over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if they're cluing him in.
He's like, Enrique, why are you so negative?
Yeah, right? He's like, you sound like a Debbie Downer. What'd you say, Warren?
Get out of my house, you pony.
Yeah, you pony.
Wait, what's a pony?
Yeah, right? I'm telling him, like, oh, all these Xbox and ponies. He's like, what are you talking about? What's an Xbox?
And here's the crazy thing. Like, right now, today, nothing has really changed.
No.
You can still get on your Xbox. You can play the great games that are on there. There's still great games coming. But, it was just crazy that last week everyone's like, so how do you think they're going to break down the Xbox? How do you think the components are going to fit into it? And how are you going to be able to upgrade it? And I'm like, Phil never said once that he was going to do anything different with the Xbox One.
Right.
This is something that may not even be in the next one. It could be something later down the road.
He literally said, I'm happy with this console. I mean, you go, it's funny because you could go, look, it's on Major Nelson's podcast. Here's the link.
Did you know somebody actually tweeted him? And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing if the person's left. I'm just saying somebody tweeted him, please tell me the Xbox isn't going anywhere. Promise me. And he actually responded, I promise it's not going anywhere.
I'm sorry.
And I thought,
I'm sorry.
It is time to get off of Twitter, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That he had to do that.
Right. It's like, Phil, can you tell me a bedtime story tonight?
Phil, tuck in my Xbox for me, Phil.
And kiss me on the head and tell me everything.
Well, look, I could understand people have a tendency to want to know that the thing they love is always going to exist. Even though when you have it right now and you're enjoying it, you have to know somehow 20 years from now it's going to be here, or else you can't value it today, which is really strange. But that's how people think. Things change. I mean, I don't think that Microsoft's going anywhere. They've got a $400 billion market cap as of 24 hours ago. It's not going to disappear. Their entertainment division isn't going to disappear.
Right.
Will it change possibly? Sure.
And I think, but that's the big unknown. I think that's what's really scaring people, is that unknown, that change. Like, I think it was you, Eric. You said it earlier that maybe, or maybe it was you, Mike. You guys You said earlier that...
Mike, I'm going to do another reference. Only you'll get it.
All right.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
It's time to change. Then it's time to change. Do you know it?
No, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Eric, do you know what they're talking about?
I think Rory lost me on that one.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
You guys don't watch the Brady Bunch?
Dude, I was like, I don't think I was born when the Brady Bunch came out.
That's great.
You guys were born in the 60s, right?
No.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus. Oh, Lord.
All right.
Wow.
So,
forget it.
Yeah. Well, I think it was you, Eric, or Mike. You guys were saying that that the Xbox could be evolving to something differently, and that's the part that scares people, the unknown. Of what the console's going to become.
Here's the thing:
it's a video game console.
Right.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
No, but you're right. I mean, you're right. It is a video game console, and if it evolves to something else, and I think you brought this up earlier, worries that if you don't like it, you could either accept the change and go along with it. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. You could play on another platform.
Yeah, I mean, we said it before. Technology. The only guarantee I'll give you is that technology will continue to evolve and move on, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, I mean, look, Sega got out of the hardware business.
Mm-hmm.
I was, let's see,
Sega.
It was what, almost, where are we looking at now? 16, 17 years ago?
At
yeah,
least
17 years
Xbox
ago.
Is,
Yeah.
Xbox is 15 or 10?
Yeah, so we're looking at close to that. So I'm still playing. I was sad when the Xbox died, or the Xbox. See,
You did
slip.
it.
I did it.
Slip.
Before you slip.
Mike knows something we don't know.
Mike, Mike's an insider.
The Dreamcast goes away, and I have to. So I'm sorry. I like the Dreamcast. I still have my Dreamcast. I pull it out every once in a while. I just bought a VGA cable for it. I'm gonna try to get it hooked back up to my TV, but I went ahead and started playing on other platforms. If the Xbox, for whatever reason, goes away, if for some reason Microsoft says, we're pulling tent and we're just gonna...
We're good. We'll have Sony if they do that.
Right. I got my PlayStation 4. I will pick up that controller and I will continue to play.
Mike?
Yes?
Mike, can you tweet me real fast that Xbox isn't going anywhere?
I will.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Please promise.
I want to paint the picture of the person that goes to they go to the office in the morning. They got bags in their eyes, and their coworkers like, "What happened to you?"
Yeah.
I didn't sleep last night, man. I swear to God, like I don't know what they're doing with my Xbox.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Right.
You go to work. I would love to go to work and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Somebody die in your family?" No.
Might as well have.
There's this Windows 10 thing going on with the Xbox. I couldn't sleep.
I've got to use my PTO.
I was up all night.
Listen, I need to use some vacation time. Really, I need to take some time to myself.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yes. Can
Frostbite.
I'm sorry. I need
Crossbite's here. Don't you understand what this means?
I need to take our bereavement.
Bereavement leave.
Oh my God. Sit down for a minute, boss. I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
So Bella in the chat room, guys, says I think people need to put their big boy pants on and worry more about global warming or
no
something
such
important.
thing.
I can't wait for somebody to show up at Phil's door on Thanksgiving dinner. Like, Phil?
Yeah, can you imagine?
Leaving a dead turkey on his doorstep.
Phil, you got a minute?
Phil, can we talk?
Like the Godfather, he wakes up with an actual lion's
lion
in his bed.
The horse head. It's the horse head.
Right.
Yeah, but a lion head for
Oh, the lions.
Yeah, for Lionhead Studios.
Oh, I got it. You are clever, Worry.
Worry is clever. You got to keep. He's quick. You got to keep up with him.
If you stop for a second, he'll just run right by you.
He will. Like he'll talk about one thing and then like segue to something else quick.
No, but I missed the lion head. I got it.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Wait,
Phil
but
Phil probably has to go out to the mall like looking like Jackie Onassis nowadays with the big shades.
Well, he said that, and again, this is something that blows my mind that he has to say. So somebody said something to him about you know, he said, "Hey man, don't worry. There's lots of people who still like you." And he actually tweeted out, "Well, you know, not a lot of people like me."
Well, Nancy.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, you have you.
Oh my
It's
God,
amazing
man.
that he has to say these things.
Yeah.
He's got the hardest job in the world, I think. Well, no, maybe not in the world, but he's got a hard job.
He's got a hard. I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be him. Or if
No.
I did, I would simply not be on social media at all. I would.
Yeah.
You know, I would.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be much better off curtailing it a bit, the way people behave. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. He probably shouldn't entertain it as much as he does, I think, on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, answering
No,
some of those questions.
I think he's trying to. I think he's trying to. He thinks that
Engagement is good, right?
that he cares enough to let these people know that everything's cool, but you know, there's only so much. You know, there's a reason that Larry Herb does not get into large Twitter conversations with people. Like, he barely tweets people.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the head of Coke and Pepsi aren't online reassuring people that the soda is always going to be around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Please tell me Pepsi's going to be here next year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess it's just things have become much more, I think, social with the technology in general. That I think people just expect the direct line to whatever it is they're using, whoever's in charge of whatever it is they're using now, because of the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whereas we see
I
it
agree.
as something like, I don't see it. For me, it's strange because I didn't grow up with it.
Right.
Like, I would never think about directly communicating with somebody in charge of a product that I bought.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Right.
I wouldn't either.
People do think that they have that. I don't want to say right, but they just expect it now because of social media.
Well, and they expect, you know, the people were demanding that Phil explain himself over this stuff. Like, really? He doesn't have to explain anything. He's the head of Xbox.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't know.
And he did explain it. This is what we did. This is why we're doing it. Especially
Yeah.
with the PC stuff. Look, this is why we're doing it. We want more people to play our games. That should be the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that
agree
should
with
be
that.
it. But it's
I think it's a double-edged sword, and it's like something that, you know, it's like kind of, you know, bit them in the butt. The fact that they have been very hardcore about engaging with the community in what was perceived as the better times. And I'm like, I'm saying that as the better times. I still think the better times are here, but now it's sort of like, because you opened up that direct line of communication, people kind of look at it as ownership. They kind of look at it as, well, we're a part of it.
right.
So you should be running things by us.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I think people do believe that they are actually more involved than just being a consumer, which just being a consumer isn't a bad thing. You are involved, right? It's your money. You're spending your money. You're sort of trusting a company that you're giving your money to give you what it is you see as valuable. But I don't think that automatically entitles you to explanations, and it's almost like some people think that they should be invited to board meetings.
Right.
You know?
Maybe some do,
Right.
but I feel like the console space is the only product or that happens with. I feel like we don't see that with phones or anything like that.
Well, people argue over phones, but I don't think that they're like.
But they're not like-
I don't know anybody contacting CEOs of Google, Samsung, or Apple and
Exactly.
saying, "Hey, I want to know what your product lines are."
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
Quarter
think,
seven,
yeah.
quarter four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see Steve Jobs on Twitter?
Well,
No.
not now. He's not alive.
Oh, Enrique.
Well, he's not. It's not.
I'm pretty sure Mike was referring to when he was alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unless you know people that are dead on Twitter. I mean, I don't know.
No, you never know these days.
Yeah, because I think because these companies they realize like we're so ingrained in the daily process, the daily world, that we'll change something, and you'll be mad, but you'll come aboard.
But I don't see the Sony folks on Twitter really. Like, I don't see a lot of interaction with
There isn't.
yeah. You know,
And I think that's a good thing. I do.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I know you know,
Every once in a while, I see Adam Boy. Sometimes Yoshida.
Yeah, every
Yoshida,
once in a while.
yeah, every once in a
But
while,
it's
yeah.
not. But he's not like engaging everyone, answering questions. He's
Right.
not-
No, he's not.
Right.
He's
Yeah, they
not.
seem to have pulled back a lot though. I don't see them as much on there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're sitting back.
I guess you could argue either way. It's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe, right. I'm sure there are some people that think that they should be as engaged as the Microsoft people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, to me, I just didn't grow up with this, so to me, it's very strange. I would never think that I could just, hey, tell me what your plans are. Well,
right.
Who are
and again,
you?
Follow a rule.
Right.
Follow a rule.
Yeah.
Would I walk up to someone at the post office and just say this to them?
Right. No, of course not.
Well, it's a different generation now, though. I mean, they're
right. That's what I'm alluding to. Yeah. It's an immediate generation. There's immediate access to everything. Yeah. So the idea of just saying whatever you want is not foreign to some people. It's the way it is to me or to you.
And some of these people don't seem to understand the difference between a perceived attack versus an opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I didn't attack. I just voiced my opinion. It's just my opinion.
No. That's the lack of clarity in printed word versus speaking.
Well, and the lack of tone.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like, I can tell you to F off. That's just my opinion.
Right. I could say, get out of here. I can say, get out of here. They're very different things.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Why are you mad that I called you a piece of shit? It's my opinion. Yeah.
Forget about it.
Let me ask you guys, GDC is coming up next week. Do you think that we'll hear anything about Lionhead? Any other information?
No, they're done. They're done.
No, that's it.
No, you heard
everything.
Well, I'm saying about what happened, what transpired.
No, why would they tell you that at GDC?
Nope.
Well, I'm saying with some of the the old
they're going to talk about games at GDC. It's
going
to be positive. It's going to be
Yeah, they're not rehashing this. This is done. It's over. It's done.
Yeah. Right.
So, by the way, Sean said something earlier. I wanted to just let him know. He brought up the ColecoVision base, the RG, the Retro VGX.
Mm-hmm.
Coleco pulled out of that.
Oh, did they really?
Yep, they are. They basically said the Retro VGS was not in anywhere near a demonstrable state.
You know what's interesting though? You could go into a store. You ever see those retro consoles that they sell that come preloaded with games on them?
Yeah.
And they sort of resemble the old consoles, but they're not the actual console.
Yep.
There's a ColecoVision one that I just saw a month ago. Yeah. There's an Intellivision. There's an Atari.
Yep.
So who's the audience for that? If it did come out.
It was not based on Coleco games. It was based on indie developers that wanted to make cartridge games.
I see.
So it was actually supposed to have, new style games on it that would be, like Adventures of Pip or Shovel Knight, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Was it going to come with wood paneling?
No, but it of course had the Atari Jaguar shell that was left over from when Atari sold it off.
I want wood paneling back on my game consoles.
Yes. And my cars.
In my cars.
Wrangler.
Your station wagon?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
You could have that. Remember the face plates on the 360? They had wood paneling face plates and stuff.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. You know what's interesting, guys, is I was looking at I hate to bring up Twitter sometimes, but so there was that tweet that went out from, I think it was Sony or PlayStation Studios in Europe or something, basically kind of extending a hand, if you will, to the folks at Lionhead. And some of the fan reaction and some of the things that people were saying, like, why would Sony do that? They're terrible for doing that. They're trying to rub it in the face of Microsoft. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not actually what's happening. That people have lost their jobs. Yeah, like why would you be angry at someone trying to help someone find a job? It's a livelihood.
Because console wars.
It's ridiculous, though. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. The last couple of days, I've actually tried to stay off Twitter a little bit more because of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I saw some people were saying this is classic Sony to twisting the knife or completely trolling or being dicks. And I'm kind of like, wow. I mean, companies do this all the time. I remember Microsoft did it.
You know what?
Sony was doing layoffs. They
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. Why does it have to automatically be like an evil?
I remember when Sony had that horrible hack and they were down for a while, and Microsoft extended a hand to them saying, if you need any help, we're here to help.
Yeah.
And I remember people reacting, in print and magazines saying that, that's just them trying to troll Sony because they're trying to say their network's better. I'm like, well, maybe they just want to help.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to be a monopoly in a business. You always want a competitor. You always want competition. You don't want to just be the only thing in town.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just insane.
You know what's insane, Worry, is that you got called a console warrior this week.
That happens every week.
I thought that was.
Right.
I thought that was. I thought it was interesting. I was like, "What?"
You've had a bad day.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
But it's like,
what does the world come to when Worry gets attacked, like on Twitter, man?
But it's crazy. Like, you try to talk to people in a rational way, and it's like they just lose their minds. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like,
clearly it's my fault for trying to be rational.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's like, he's being rational. Hello, it's like, God forbid if someone's rational. It doesn't make any sense.
I think it's just people. There's a lot of people that just deep down they're kind of afraid or scared of what's happening around their favorite brand, or they're unsure, and it manifests itself in strange ways.
like tweeting Phil Spencer.
I mean, I really don't care. I like the Xbox. I play the Xbox all the time. I mean, I have like a 62,000 gamer score, but I'm not going to, take a week off and go into bereavement if they decide to tell me you have to buy an app now, and that's the Xbox. I mean, I'll either do it or I won't.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't understand that mindset. If you enjoy gaming, if you like gaming, what does it matter what platform you're doing that on, so long as you're gaming?
Well, no, I mean, it's okay to have a favorite platform. It's okay
I know
to
that,
enjoy, Xbox and like the ecosystem, and if you have all your friends there, or you like the way the dashboard works. There's a lot of things. Like, I love the Elite controller. There's no way I would use. If I can use the Elite controller on every single console, I would use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, but I guess where we differ then from other people is if Xbox went away, we would just shift to another platform and continue on.
Yeah.
If they stopped making if the McDonald's shut down tomorrow, I would simply go to another place and buy a hamburger.
Yeah. It's a lot easier too if you expose yourself to other platforms while they're out. Like, there are other platforms in the market.
Oh, there it is. Worry Ward exposed.
Right. So I understand the cost. The cost of the consoles is expensive, so people might not be able to own them all. But if you do, then it's not really a big deal.
No.
Like, if you
every
once in a while you play the Nintendo, every once in a while you play the PlayStation. You really like the Xbox, you play that the most. You're not going to be as sensitive to these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
No, I agree with that. And by the way, Mike, I don't know if you know this, but Sean loves Nintendo.
Oh, I love him too. I love Sean for loving Nintendo. I saw his tweet today, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I can't wait.
Trust me, I've had to live with this for the better part of 2 decades.
Yeah. You know what, Mike? Go ahead, Eric.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, quick side note. People can say what they want to say about Nintendo, but every time something NX drops, people are like, what does that mean? What is it going to be? What are they going to do? How's it going to?
Right.
I'm so excited.
They're still one of the only companies that can do that and keep people guessing.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really rooting for them. I mean, there's certain things that they have to do.
Right.
They're going to do their Nintendo thing. They have their own drum and they beat it. They march to their own beat, but there are certain things that they have to do. Like, they have to have an online infrastructure that's serviceable. They have to have a digital download system that works. They have to have online and friends lists. They have to have certain things that work. And if they have just that basic stuff and then all the other Nintendo stuff, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah. And there's rumors now that they're apparently having meetings with EA. I mean, that's all rumor, but There's a rumor going around that they're meeting with EA. There was something else going around with Nintendo funding Beyond Good and what is it? I forget the name.
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yes.
Yeah. Now they were so that article on that website, Ubisoft forced them to take down. So I'm thinking that that's not true.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was sort of a odd rumor to begin with, but yeah, I think that's happening.
Well, I'm gonna dream the impossible dream, Mike, and say they made them take it down because it was true. And they're like, shut up, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, stop talking. You know.
Yeah, NDA or something. Yeah, bring it to take it down. Yeah.
No, but I'm with Rory, man. I have high hopes for them, man. I'm rooting for them, and it seems like Kimishima seems to get it. You know, he has worked in the West, so he seems to kind of. I mean, he was the first one that kind of stepped out there and said the Wii U was dumb. Like I told him, it was like not a good idea.
He said that.
Yeah, I was surprised.
He didn't say it was dumb. He didn't say
not in so many words, but he did kind of hint that.
Yeah.
This is not what I wanted.
He's like, this is some bullshit.
It's some bullshit.
He kind of said, I don't think people are going to really get what we're trying to do with this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And he seems to be right. So, but he seems to be very outspoken and kind of understand. And like I said, you kind of want someone too who understands how Western gaming works now.
Right.
And that's why I said, you kind of look at the mobile effort. I keep saying like they're going to do mobile, and I know people keep screaming, well, they should just throw all their IP on mobile, and that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to. I look at it like they're trying to service two markets. Like the NX could be very West driven, while the mobile market really serves a lot of the Japanese market. But they know also they'll get some of that with America too.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, the Japanese market is pretty much mobile now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't care as much about consoles.
No, they don't. They don't.
I'd be interested to see how they react to a new Nintendo system.
Yeah, well, if anyone will make noise in Japan, it would be them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, and Mike, we talked about this on your podcast on Friday. Do you guys think they're going to be at E3 this year on stage?
No, I think they're going to stick direct.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends on if they need to have an audience applaud for their new console. They very well could announce it in a direct, like any other thing that they've done, and they could bank on the fact that people are just gonna ooh and ah, and maybe they'll get some people who do, how people do the now everybody's live streaming the conferences with their own reactions and whatnot. So they could do that, but if something like this, they may feel like they need to have the perception that their fan base is applauding what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about it like that, Mike, because they may
point.
actually want to have it in display. If they do announce it like at E3 or something, they probably want people to be able to see it.
Yeah. And for me, what a better way for Nintendo to return to, or to be back on stage, after not having, a live E3 conference, and to announce the new Nintendo NX console.
I don't know. It's all the rage now to not be on stage.
Well, yeah, right.
When
or not be at E3.
When Nintendo wasn't on stage, it was the lamest thing ever for certain people. But now that Activision and EA are on it, it's some new grand thing. Oh, it's going to be so cool.
It's new.
Yeah, I don't know how new this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and was it the Cool Kid 2 Take-Two? They're going to be at E3 now.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys here? You guys here? They're finally coming.
Yeah.
It's like getting a cool kid to come to your party.
Right.
Oh my, yeah.
Something Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Well, it gives them an opportunity. I mean, when you don't have, let's think of who's really not going to be there. EA, Activision, Konami's not going to have anything to show off. Capcom's not going to have anything to show off. Sega's not going to be there. Your big two will be there. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo will be there. I'm sure they'll have a booth, but
you don't know if they'll present.
Right. You're talking about an opportunity for Take-Two, for example, to have Ubisoft to be there, but you've got they could really take this and run with it. That's why I think Bethesda's doing another press conferences. They're thinking, well, we don't have to compete with EA. We're not really competing with the platform holders. We're not going to, Ubisoft will have something, and whether they get Isha Thompson back to do whatever, you'll have that. But even that's pretty low key, and it's not as many people watch that as watch the platform holders one, and I don't think as many people watch that as watch the Bethesda one because they had it the night before. So Take-Two could certainly use this as an opportunity to expand their race. Now, I don't think they're going to have a press conference because I think they would have announced it by now, but their floor presence, they could gobble up all the empty space that's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They could.
Yeah. Which
by the way, guys, Sean just posted this hot-looking wood panel N64 console on Twitter. I'm upset. This thing is money.
That's funny.
I want one.
He is the consummate Nintendo guy.
Oh, he is. I love it though. I love how committed he is to the cause.
He's been that way for a very, very long time.
No, I love Nintendo to death, man. And I know a lot of people wish they would go away, and I'm like, you do not want them to go away.
No.
You do not want them leaving the space.
No, they should not go away.
I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole X company should go away. I mean, that makes no sense. And you're basically saying, I want less games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And you've seen time and again what happens when a company becomes a little too big for their britches. When they think they've crossed the goal line, but they drop the ball at the one. We saw it with Sony with the PS3 announcement. We saw it with Microsoft with the Xbox One announcement. And it's like, you should look at that as examples of what could happen if somebody goes away.
Right.
You don't want that.
It's the same people that say they love physical because they can see it on their shelf, and then their next point for physical is I could take it to GameStop and trade it in, which completely negates the first point of having anything on your shelf to stare at.
Well, you just replace it with something new.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I want to be able to take it to GameStop and have them give me $7 for it to turn around and sell it for $45.
Yes.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Just so that I can get a new game for $10 less.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
You can buy that used PS4 that had a crack in it.
That was all dusty.
I still can't believe you went used. As soon as I saw your tweet, I was like, oh boy, he went used. He's in trouble.
Yeah. I didn't expect it.
Refurbished.
And to be fair, the GameStop I went into at the time didn't have any new ones except for the Call of Duty. I really didn't want the Call of Duty package because I don't like it. So
the Uncharted, yeah.
Right, so I'm thinking, oh well, yeah, I'll just get a used one and buy Uncharted. But then, Uncharted was $40.99, and I could only pick things $40 and under. So
exactly, they just happened to put that 99-cent.
Yeah, exactly.
As I said, red hot poker to the nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike, come on. GameStop is in cahoots with Sony. There was a stack of
there's
Uncharted.
Exactly.
A stack of Uncharted PS4s in the back. That it was selling out.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Mike, did you finish playing through the Uncharted again?
I have not. I have not had time to do much gaming, and I've been working on a couple of game reviews for Inside Gaming Online, so it's been
nice.
a little tough. And then, of course, I just bought the Division, and I'm ready to go with that. And so, no.
Yeah. Now
I will as I get through some other things. I mean, it's a game. That's a game I can come in and out of within playing other stuff very easily.
Yeah.
I played Uncharted 1 so far, but I still need to run through 2 and 3.
Yeah. Did you guys? Speaking of Uncharted, did you guys play the beta this weekend for Uncharted 4?
Yep.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think?
I thought it was fun.
I did too.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at multiplayer games, so if I have fun and can actually get a kill or two, then it's something that I'll probably have fun with. I'm not going to buy Uncharted 4 for the multiplayer, obviously, but
Right.
Oh my God, Bella was trolling me on Uncharted 4. I was streaming it live. She was basically like making fun of me because I kept dying.
Yeah, I had fun with it too, and like Worry, I'm not a multiplayer guy, so I wasn't even thinking about the multiplayer. And I find it funny because I once again go back to it's a selling point for the game. It's a glorified demo, and I saw a PlayStation blog post from the folks who are creating Overwatch, and they basically said exactly that. Hey, we're glad to get you into this open beta so you can check the game out and see if you want to buy it. I'm like, thank you. Somebody finally is telling the truth and owning up to what this shit is, and that is it's glorified demo.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to its credit, that's what happened with the Uncharted beta demo. It sold me on the fact that I might actually play some multiplayer on it.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was easy to pick up. The gameplay was smooth. Like I didn't notice any hiccups, anything with frame rate issues or anything like that. The only thing that I had to get used to was the controller. Like I've never been a big fan of first-person shooters with a DualShock controller. That's probably the only complaint that I had.
I was having a heck of a time with L1 and R1 and L2 and R2. Like I just kept throwing grenades when I knew I was supposed to fire them.
Yeah. No, but it was definitely a lot of fun. And I also played, speaking of betas, the Hitman beta came out this weekend too. I played that for a little bit.
Yeah, how was that?
It was okay. It was okay.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
No.
I've lost a lot of steam for that game.
You know what? For me, it was just like the same old shit. Like I've played this before. You sneak up, you assassinate someone, you try to escape, you try to disguise yourself, you try to hide bodies in bathrooms.
Are you talking about Metal Gear Solid?
No, Hitman.
Ah.
Yes, but see, you see what I'm saying? It's like it's. I've played these types of games too. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I play a lot of like this stealth type games, and I felt, do I just suck, or is this game not working the right way? Because it's telling me to do this. I know it's a beta and there's things, but I'm like, it's telling me to do this, and I'm kind of playing by the rules and figuring it out, but everyone's suspicious of what I'm doing.
Everyone is literally.
It's like
even the cook.
I got a costume.
Yeah, that bald guy with the barcode on his neck can't be the killer, could he?
That's not a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
The guy that looks like Pitbull.
But it's like, hey, get a disguise and make sure you infiltrate and do this and that. It's like you do it, and then all of a sudden everyone in the ship is turning and looking at you like, hey, who's that dude? It's like,
yeah, that's clearly not the bald guy we saw earlier with the barcode. Right. He has a waiter outfit on. He must be a waiter.
Hey, check that guy's neck.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you're telling me to be incognito, even though I'm the bald guy with the barcode, but it's like, I'm playing by your rules, but you're setting everything else in opposition.
That's funny.
Play by your rules.
And that was Eric. That's such a great because that's what I was thinking too. I was playing this. Is like this. He's the only bald guy at the party with a barcode on his back, in the back of his neck. Like
doesn't matter if he puts a police hat on.
Yeah, he could put it. Yeah, exactly.
I like the fact that it tells you, the first mission is like, steal a waiter's outfit, and then you go up to the guy like to assassinate him. It's like, now blend in, go to the bar and act like a bartender.
Yeah, you had a bartender. I was making martinis.
But you're sitting there the whole time wiping down the bar. And I'm like, you're gonna wear a hole in this bar, dude.
Yeah, you're literally. That's the bad part. This guy's having the conversation, the guy that you're supposed to be following, and you're literally just wiping the bar down the whole time, and that's it, just like that.
That's the suspicious part. Like, who sits there, and does that?
Yeah, he's not even making drink or anything.
Yeah, no, I wasn't digging it. Hey, let me jump in really quick, Enrique. Bella just sent me a message. Apparently, there's an update to that story from earlier about the closing of different studios for Microsoft.
Yep.
And they said it was due to a site refresh. So they have consolidated some studios, but it's not, trickery or layoffs or all kind of different things going on. So.
Gotcha.
If you want, I can read some of it.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I guess they responded to Game Informer, and they said on Monday we announced changes to Microsoft Studios, including Lionhead and Press Play. Microsoft representative told us via email, as part of these changes, we did a site refresh and removed several logos for older studios and projects that have been consolidated during the past several years into other Microsoft studios and teams. As games launch and new projects come online, we routinely make these kinds of moves to ensure we have the right development support on the right games. So that's one part of it, but there's a full quote on exl.com.
Nice plug, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what else was I playing this weekend? Oh, you know what, guys? I finally beat Life is Strange.
Great game.
Oh my gosh, Worry, you were dead on. That game is awesome.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's one of the best games I've played this console generation.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I feel left out now.
You guys, seriously, you guys have to play this game. You have to.
Okay.
I'm actually worried. I'm thinking about going back and playing it again.
Didn't it just go on sale on
yes.
on the Xbox side?
Yes.
Yeah. I stopped at episode 2, so I still got to jump back in and finish it. But over the weekend, I did the review for Layers of Fear.
I love that. Love it.
Yeah,
that was intense.
Eric, you tell me about that. I won't play because I don't want to be scared.
There's a really good game out now called Kolot, based on the Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It's a first-person, story-driven horror experience that just came out too. That it's on PlayStation.
Did you play it?
It's kind of like Layers of Fear, that perspective, that sort of narrative and stuff like that. I just got it today, and I only played maybe 10 minutes of it, so I don't really have much to tell you about it, but it's that type of a game. If you like Layers of Fear, if you liked Outlast is kind of like, really gory horror, but it's still that sort of first-person perspective, narrative-driven, point A to point B type of experience.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I horror games, I don't know. They kind of, I don't know.
They're kind of making you scared.
Yeah, they do. They do. Especially when you're wearing, the headsets. It's just like.
I don't wear the headset when I play. No.
Yeah, yeah. I might have to. You did?
I totally did. Yeah. When I first started it, I started playing at night. I had everything turned down, and I had the headset on. It freaked me. It freaked me out to the point I was like, all right. I kind of shifted to day play.
Yeah. Layers of Fear is excellent.
Yeah, it freaked me out that bad. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mike, you should definitely check out Life is Strange, Joe. It's a great. Really, it's.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those where my backlog, as it is huge. So I got to figure out how to fit it in there. Oh, jeez, what you juvenile kid can't say anything around you.
I didn't say anything. I just laughed.
What was funny about that?
I don't know. I just laughed.
I don't know. He's just right. Well, we know what he's thinking.
No, I'm talking about a backlog.
He said backlog, and he's got to fit it in. Because the backlog, it's a big backlog. So.
Well, I gotta get back to playing those because they're not long, so you kind of run through them pretty quick.
Yeah. Because the other thing too is I also have, speaking of these kind of episodic games, I haven't even downloaded the second episode of King's Quest yet. So I still have that. Blues and Bullets.
Check that out.
Blues and Bullets should be coming back with their second.
That's what I was just gonna say. The first one I loved.
I know.
Waiting for the second.
Yeah, it was really funny. You and I both did Let's Plays on that where they were almost identical style. Really? Yeah, because I was sick that week, so I sounded exactly like yours. Because you had this really nice, private eye kind of voice, and I was like, and I had a nasty cold, so I sounded exactly the same way. And it came out within like an hour of each other, so I thought it was really funny. But the game, you and I both played through that first episode. Man, I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
And I love that whole. I'm
a
fan of the whole Elliot Ness thing. And this was, Blues and Bullets was kind of the post era when you're assuming that, or they're supposing that Al Capone lives his way through jail instead of gets killed in jail. And so then there's it opens him up to like this whole Star Trek style reimagining of the rest of the story. It was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah. So. You guys haven't. Well, where I know you picked up Firewatch today, right? Or no?
I was going to. I just picked up Colot, and I picked up The Division.
Yeah. Oh, you did get The Division.
Yeah, I wound up getting it.
Okay, I thought you were going to pass on it. That's cool.
I was. I talked to a few people, and they kind of convinced me that
Uh-oh.
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 What is that?
Eric, are you still alive?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
It's not like somebody got electrocuted.
Oh my God, what was that?
I don't know.
It was like the emergency broadcast signal went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
this
okay?
Is just a test.
Microsoft just closed another studio.
Oh, geez. Good Lord, man.
343 is done.
Oh my God. Can you imagine the meltdown?
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
God. Wow. That would be the
Just a joke.
Yeah. Then you would wow.
Oh my God.
What the hell was that, man?
That was
I don't know.
That was weird.
I experience all kinds of really odd things whenever I do a podcast with Enrique.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not what odd thing. Well, actually, worry. There's one time I dropped out and you South took over the podcast for a little bit.
Yes, that was about the best thing ever.
That was some great. I
just left.
That one. Yeah.
Starting and stopping. He doesn't know when it starts, when it stops. Are we on live? Are we not on live? He's asking me the question. It's his podcast. And now the emergency broadcast system cut in to tell us 343 was gone.
Sean in the chat room said, he said, "Whoa, I'm deaf."
Oh, good. So they heard it too. That's excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, sound effects, guys. It was sound effects, but
yeah.
No, Firewatch, guys, was really a great game. That's actually one of my favorite games I've played so far this year as well.
I really dug Firewatch also.
Yeah, it was well
short
done.
Though, correct?
Yeah,
yes,
it was short. It was. I think I played it, completed about 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the story's great though. I mean, it really is. I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's definitely. I think it's worth a pickup. What is it? $20?
I don't know.
Yeah, $20.
Yeah. So, and I got the Division for the Xbox. Did you guys get it for the Xbox or?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't picked it up yet, but I'll probably get it for Xbox because I think that's where most of my friends will be playing it.
And that's kind of the same. I mean, everybody I know who's going to be playing is playing it there.
Yeah. So, and then I think that's it for me for games I've been playing. To start up on the Division, that's probably it. And then I might have to check out. I might check out the game that you talked about, Worry.
Colot.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
There's videos online you can check out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. If it's too scary, I probably won't get it. But oh wait, Worry. Sean says the sound was Worry clicking buy on his 3 weeks worth of Ghostbusters IMAX movie tickets.
Clicking buy. I don't go to the movies to see anything. I can't stand the movie theater.
Well, you went to see
Just
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah. You saw it like 3 times, right?
I saw it. So far, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Yeah.
Damn.
Wait, guys, are we live?
It says we're live.
I'm joking.
We're about to be not live.
Yeah.
No,
Actually,
right?
my wife and I did go to see Deadpool in the theaters.
Oh, I still need to see that.
Yeah, Deadpool was really good.
I heard it's
It
good.
was. It really was.
Yeah.
My wife is not the biggest vulgarity kind of person. She really enjoyed it.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap up the podcast. I wanted to keep this one short because we did a marathon podcast, Mike, on Friday night for 3 hours.
and did not run out of things to talk about, which was the weird thing.
Yeah, we kept going.
we could have gone on another 2 hours if we really tried.
Oh, easily. We easily could have.
I mean, there was so much going on. I mean, and the chat room was just. I mean, the chat room kept it going.
Yeah, it did.
Just like this one here. His chat room was, look, these podcasts we do, these chat rooms, far and away, fantastic.
Yeah, no, they are.
So,
they are. Yeah, they really make the podcast great. So yeah. Thank you to all the folks in the live chat again. We appreciate joining us. It's nice having Sean on too. Sean from Starbucks.
See what he just said too.
What did he say?
My balls are still sore.
Sean said, "Yeah, my balls are still sore from that podcast."
He had to use the bathroom for like the last hour and a half of that podcast.
Sean had to go to the bathroom.
6 or 7 unborn children were killed.
Oh, good God.
His sperm count went way down.
His sperm count hit all-time record lows.
Oh, man. He might be happy with that one, though.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Oh, man.
My goodness.
So, well, guys, gentlemen, thank you for joining me again tonight. Appreciate it. Eric, thank you again. Mike.
Always
a
pleasure.
Yeah, Worry, thank you for hopping on, man. Appreciate it.
Sure.
And for those in the chat room again, Bella, Andy, Sean, Slap Happy, I think, was here for a little bit. Lemieux66. If I'm missing anyone else, thank you again for joining us live tonight and making the live chat interesting. And remember, folks, we're live every Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be back this Thursday with the Green Room at 9 p.m. as well. So, Mike and Eric, I'll post links to you, Mike to your podcast and Eric to EXL Gaming. And other than that, gentlemen, thank you again. Remember, gamers, to game on, but more importantly, have fun. Peace.
Later.
Peace out.